We are live.
Whoop,
Hey,
whoop.
everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Lisa.
Happy New Year. Here we are.
How are you doing? I haven't seen the notification go out just yet. But...
I am looking.
How are you doing?
Yep.
There we go.
It went out. I am doing great. How about yourself?
Doing great. We had a nice New Year's weekend. Wonderful Christmas time. I mean, everything, it's all good. And this was our first Christmas in the new homestead. So
Exciting.
That was a lot of fun. I know, the babies make it fun.
They do.
The little ones. Because we don't do, my husband and I, we don't exchange gifts. We don't do all of that with each other. Rather, we will buy ourselves what we want. We're like,
right. Yep.
No need to guess or anything like that. And then with the kids, we get them their gifts and everything. So it was a lot of fun this year.
Nice.
And they're right next door. That's what makes it so awesome. Hey there, Candy Dudette. Good to see you.
Hey, Tiny Tim. Hey, Candy.
Hi, Tiny
yeah,
Tim.
we don't do all the materialistic stuff either. We've stopped that years ago. In fact, I bought two gifts this year. That's it for people. And one was my granddaughter. And we gave ourselves the gift of a brand new bathroom, which is something I've never had before.
That is so awesome.
We're still working on it.
I saw some of the pictures that you posted. So excited to see the finished product. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So that's a first for us because we're cheap and we usually just make it work. I mean, we'll paint and stuff, but
good morning, Chuck. Life with Linda and Chuck. Good to see you.
Good morning. So yeah, we've been MIA on the tubes for a while because between the Arctic blast, we went from blizzard, even though we didn't get it, we prepared for it, but we went from blizzard to Arctic blast, as you know, because I called you in tears about it, to holidays and bathroom remodel. So Ryan actually went back to work today.
I was watching a replay of your lives, and when you and I, were talking offline about the cold and everything, because it was horrible here too, the most horrible we've ever had it. And, coming from northern Arizona to Missouri, we had cold in northern Arizona. We got, below zero. There is a difference between a dry cold and a wet cold. Oh my word. So
bone chilling,
almost like you can't. I mean, when we were at, I think it was, I don't even remember the ridiculous numbers. I think wind chill, we were at like negative 25 or 30 or something like that with wind chill. For us, that was brutal. I didn't even want to step outside. So we got the boys, that's my husband and my son-in-law, we got them the insulated bibs so that they could go out and do chores. Because we're like, we've got a newborn on the property. We do not want them getting sick. You know what I mean? Nobody can get sick. We don't want anybody getting sick. But I saw on a live, watching a replay, that you had mentioned that somebody in your state there, maybe north of you, I think you said, had snowbanks. They had 10-foot snowbanks. I was like, holy crap. I know you probably remember the video I did when we were in northern Arizona. Like, where the heck do you put the snow? I was not shoveling anything like that. I mean, what do you do? Good
ranchers. So everybody got, most of South Dakota got hit with the blizzard. Some parts got hit with ice, then the snow, which is really bad because it just clings to the ice and power outages. We were in what they called a dry pocket. It was a very small area of the Southern Black Hills.
Oh, awesome.
And we got nothing, like two inches.
Hey, Melody Maid.
Hey there. So it was a very bizarre situation because typically we get more snow than most people, right?
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was I was really nervous because the state of South Dakota, along with some other states, and I've mentioned this a million times at nauseum, right, is that Storm Atlas came in and killed so much cattle and livestock when they came through, hurricane force winds and it snow.
Yeah.
So this storm was shaping up to be similar to Atlas. So it was very scary. But I will say this, and I'll say her name because I don't think she'll mind. But Jessie at Rustic Sodak Farm, which is who we get our hay from, ended up having 10-foot snow drifts. They had minus 60-degree wind chills.
Oh my word.
And that's life threatening.
It is.
That's
Absolutely.
life threatening for your livestock and everything. I see a bunch of people popped in, so I want
Hi,
to give you a
Vineyard
chance.
Chicks, Our Life Off Grid. Good to see you guys, and thank you so much for popping in. Thanks for popping in, Melody Maid.
So yeah, I mean, and there were pictures of barns here that had. So if you look at cattle shelters,
Yeah.
So cattle have openings underneath the eaves. And so, hey, Jamie's Country Living.
Hey, Jamie.
So underneath the eaves, snow was blowing in and they had 10-foot drifts inside the barns.
Oh my goodness.
So people were having to go in there with tractors and clear it because they're, cattle stay out. But it was, I was really worried for, let's face it, livestock is livelihood here.
Yeah, it is.
You lose it, that's it.
And for us, we're attached to our animals. And so we were so worried about the goats and the chickens and how were they going to do? And everybody did well. So of course the guys went out there, and beefed up their bedding, tried to do what they could to block any wind from getting in without sealing them up so much that they had to worry about condensation buildup or anything like that. But
it's a fine line.
You do what you can and then you pray about the rest, right? Like
all right, I'm going to sound dramatic for a minute, but I'm going to be honest where I was at and where my emotions were. I mean, Mountain Grandma knows this because I called her in tears about it. Our animals are hardy animals. We always get cold, hardy animals because we know that's what our winter is. But let me be clear. Anything, I guess, lower than negative 30 is the right way to say it.
Yeah.
With a wind chill is not normal for us. This was not normal temperatures for us. A lot of people don't realize that, but it's not. This was record-breaking temps. And for 3 days, usually we get like a negative 30, and then it goes back up. I will say that the morning we woke up and we were at negative 47, and, I did talk to other people with lower temperatures. I was afraid to go outside and do chores. My animals were fine. I mean, I think the biggest thing was that, chickens got frostbite. That's usually there's 1 or 2 nights of the year that they get frostbite. Sadly, they've all got blackened frostbite on combs and wattles, no matter what we did to avoid it. And that'll fall off because it's dead skin. I'm not trying to be cavalier. I hate it, but we try to avoid it, but it happens.
You're actually answering a question I had. My next question was going to be, so what happens with that?
So Dwight had a beautiful comb last year, and each year it's getting smaller on the tips, right? And that's mainly because roosters do not tuck their heads under their wing like hens do. But I have some leghorns with some huge combs that have never had frostbite before, got it this year. And I don't know why, because they tuck their heads. But it was just, the problem is when they tuck their heads, there's moisture. So
I was watching the Swedes, what is it? Swedes Old Farm. What is the name?
Swedes Farm.
Old Swedes Farm. And he was doing a video about his chickens. and one of them had frost, and that's what he said. She's got frost, don't worry. She's warm. It's because she's got her head tucked and she's breathing, and it's creating frost on her.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen frost on my chickens once.
Mm-hmm. Does that work, Lisa?
I've not used Vaseline. I've used Bag Balm, and we do it before the cold weather comes in, so that way it soaks into the comb. But they still get it here. There's usually one night a year that causes it, and they get it.
Yes, they are, Jamie.
Yeah, they are awesome. My turkeys, on the other hand, minus 47-degree wind chill. Guess where they were? Outside.
Oh my gosh.
The one thing I will say is they did go in and out more. I think because their feet got cold, but they did go in and out of I didn't have to lock them up this year. I usually lock them up for a few days if it's that cold.
Yeah.
I said, let me keep an eye on them. They were out there like it was summer.
Yeah.
But my pigs,
I want to get turkeys this year. That's one thing I would to do.
My pigs were the concern. My pigs were the concern. Because, it's that if you close them in, right, you have to close them in with water. Pigs knock water over. It's not like chickens.
Yeah.
You close them in, they create a lot of moisture as they're breathing, because you would not believe the heat that comes off of pigs when they huddle. So we've got 2 and 2. And the boys, all of them had frost on their backs.
Wow.
And a lot of frost on their backs, but that's a good sign, because that shows that their bodies are insulated. The only one that came in the house was Norman, and that was because
little Norman,
under 50 pounds and at risk of hypothermia. But their ears are also at risk of hypothermia. So Norman's back outside now, but that one morning I just didn't want to go out, Tammy.
I'll bet.
But everybody was okay.
I'll bet. I'm so glad too. They're commenting about the Vaseline. They keep it on their birds all winter.
Yep. Yeah.
We'll have to try that here.
Yeah, we usually do before we're expecting a cold snap, and it soaks in. And if the comb is moist, moist meaning not dry, it does better.
Hey, our new land.
Hey.
Yeah, I hope we don't have too many more of those before March.
I told Ryan, if we have another one of those cold snaps here, or that becomes the norm, we're moving.
And you can be my neighbor.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, we might go Texas. So
right? Go from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, I said, I am not dealing with that. But again, not the norm. So
yeah. I hope everybody else fared well through all of that really, really cold that we had. It was pretty crazy.
I think Vineyard Chicks, did you guys get the blizzard, right?
Oh, man. Hi, Roberta's Artistic Adventures. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm super behind on getting videos out because of everything, because we haven't been. I'm lucky that I got the what do you call it out? The Dipsember.
That was good too.
And that was the other thing. We had no water. So
it was a lot. It's only been
a lot.
You know what I mean? My goodness.
December with a capital S was really hard.
It was. My goodness.
But you know what? It could always be worse.
Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. It could always be worse. Remember that.
That's right. Yeah. And the truth is, we don't have to look very far. That's what I always say. You really don't have to look very far to see folks that are struggling and having a hard time. We had our pipes freeze on us. We had left the cold water dripping.
Yep.
Thinking that would do the trick. The hot water froze. But we did get lucky that we didn't burst any pipes. So that was a total blessing that we didn't burst any pipes. But yeah, that was a doozy. But we always me and Mountain Grandpa after Christmas, we always like high five and say, all right, mission accomplished. We got, we did it. We want
Yeah.
to make sure the kids and grandbabies have a good Christmas. And that's our main focus. And that's all of our kids, you know, even, I mean, obviously the big ones, we only have big kids, but the grandbabies and our kids that aren't even here with us. So we try to watch out for everybody. Hey, Uncle Al. Good to
Hey,
see
Uncle
you.
Al. And yeah, Joy Bless Life had no water either. I remember they had no water when we did. A lot of people thought ours was frozen. I just want to clarify, ours was not frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan heard about the temp. Well, first of all, we're insulated to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ryan heard that the temps were going to drop and went down to the crawl space, which is a nightmare. I don't know how he does it. But the bottom line is he went down there and insulated everything and kept it at 40 something degrees. It was our neighbor
Oh my
who
goodness.
had a frozen pipe burst that we share a well with, and it ran the well dry. So we are letting it recover, still hauling water right now.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Storyteller Donnie. Thank you for hitting that like button for us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Donnie. Yep, Uncle Al, we've got our pipes are all insulated.
Mm-hmm.
He insulated the vents in the bottom of the crawl space, and he put a thermometer down there so he could keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Mountain Grandma, you guys were hit with unprecedented temps yourself, so that's
yeah, we were, and I'm very relieved to hear that they're unprecedented because
no kidding.
yeah, it's like holy crap. Is this our new winter? And
No
how
way.
much of this we got?
And Storyteller Donnie is working. He can't tag everyone, but he's saying hey.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Donnie. Yeah. So, well, thank you everybody for joining us. And I'm going to share our banner here of the 7 F's. I'm so excited. Happy New Year, everyone. And I thought it'd be a good time to just kind of recap, like, what are the 7 F's? Why do we find them valuable? Why are we doing this? And to just kind of talk about that to get started. And the 7 F's represent what you see here scrolling at the bottom of the scene: faith, family, friends, finance, fitness, fun, future. And the whole goal of this is to just think about all of the things that you want to do in the year and seeing where those things lie in regards to these 7 important parts of our lives and trying to accomplish our goals while keeping everything balanced, because the balance is key. And so all of this is really ultimately about trying to live the life you want to live. When I was younger, I had read a book called Life by Design. So that's where the name of this came from. And I read this book. There's some other ones that I thought were amazing. University of Success. It was like one motivational speaker after, and every chapter is a new motivational speaker. I thought that was pretty awesome. There was a book called Manage Your Choices, Manage Your Life. And I didn't like always go and find these books. I mean, heck, I'm talking when I was young, I'm talking like 17, 18 years old. I had people gift these books to me and say, they must have thought I was a hot mess. I don't know. But I was at 17, my parents had moved out of state. So I was in Arizona with no family. And I did have come across wonderful adults who kind of took me under their wing a little bit and parented me, I guess you could say, from the workplace.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like they treated me like I was one of their children. And then I met my husband when I was 19. So but so that's when I read these books, and I really feel like it obviously impacted me quite a bit, because over the years I've always thought about these things that I read in those books. And then when I was older, there was other books I read, and some of them might have had something to do with management too, because I was in management, still in study management, but it's different. I don't manage people, I manage sites, so a little different, but delivering happiness. So anyways, with the Life by Design, the whole concept of the book was, as you make your goals, as you try to position yourself in any direction, whether it's going to school, starting a business, buying a home, all of your goals, think about where you want to be in life and what brings you joy and happiness, where you find yourself being the most content and happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one thing to mention, sometimes those things can change a little bit as you get older. So you always need to reflect and kind of reassess where you are. And is this still what you want? And so that's where this whole concept of goal setting really comes from, is what you're doing, is it aligning with where you want your life to go? And if you could design your life, if you could have storyteller Donnie paint a picture of your life and just hop right into it, what would it look like, for example? And then try to make sure every choice that you make, manage your choices so that you follow that path in the direction that you want to go. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of when I think of Life by Design. So, Lisa, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, actually, I'm going to let you keep going because I'm posting links for everybody in the chat. I just kind of want to get that done, and then I can focus more.
Yep. So with that, you set your goals and you think about, what big goals do I want? And then ask yourself, is that going to align with where you're going? Because you don't necessarily have to not be able to shoot for that goal. Like, I don't know if anybody here wants some nice shiny car or something. And we had our truck breakdown and we were at a crossroads where we're like, do we get it fixed or do we get a new one? And Lisa, I know I talked to you about this. We actually decided to just get it fixed. We're not getting a new one.
The devil you know is sometimes better than the devil you don't know, especially when it comes to vehicles. Sorry, just saying.
Yeah. And everything is so crazy expensive right now. It's just, we're better off. Yes. And you're welcome, storyteller Donnie. But that's where we're at. That was a choice we had to make. And we just decided, let's do that. And that's our choice for now. We're going to really try to stick with it, because we got a big truck, guys. We've always bought a vehicle 2 years old, like about 2 years old, except for once we got a brand new one. But they say, you pay sticker price right when it drives off the lot. So let somebody else pay the sticker price. And then if there's 10,000 miles on a vehicle, it's still under warranty and all the good stuff. We've had really good luck with it. And so it's a big diesel 2,500 truck. And I don't know if anybody's been watching the prices of vehicles these days. Like, I hope some people can live in them, because it's nuts.
I'm laughing because while I'm posting links, I was listening to you, and it was funny. I'm always late to the party on trends. And so we were watching The Mule with Clint Eastwood. And I mean, if anyone knows, the premise of that movie was, he's a guy on hard times. He's, foreclosure and all that, and he becomes a drug mule. And so, I mean, that man was out there living loud and proud with his money, and he bought a Lincoln pickup.
A Lincoln. I didn't know they made those.
I didn't either. I think it's Canada. But I looked at Ryan and I was like, what in the heck does that cost? But
yeah,
no worries, our life off grid. I'm sharing folks who are here, and then we stop. We don't always focus on sharing all the links. I just try to get a few out.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, and it wasn't even part of our goals, right? Like, we moved here and my goal was, let's try to get out of debt. All of the goals that we had were best met by moving. So our last year, the biggest goal we accomplished was the move, and it took up most of our year. But buying a new truck didn't fit in with our bigger plan. So we kind of had to let that piece of it kind of go. You know what I mean? Like it's not fitting with the picture. We're like 2,000 off from paying off the one that we have. I mean, for example, and then we've got another truck that we're paying off. Like we aren't even done paying off those two. Don't trade anything in. Don't. So that's what this is all about, is just kind of trying to keep work-life balance, focusing on what you want to accomplish and making sure it all fits. How's Normie?
That's Normie. Normie's doing great. Thank you. He is outside again because Diesel decided to throw a wrench in the plan and basically is very possessive of Ryan. And he started growling and snarkiness with Normie. So Normie's back outside. And then I take Diesel out to see Normie. And guess what he does outside when the two of them are on a leash?
What?
Ignores him.
Huh.
You bring him in the house, it's a totally different thing.
Oh, because that's his space. He was there first. I wonder if Norman was a girl, if he would be different. Hi, M. Husson. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, FSP.
Norman's son. Good to see you. FSP.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that, I mean, both of them are neutered, so there's no testosterone going on. But I think that part of the stuff playing into it is all the quote unquote stress of the environment, because the house has been torn apart for the bathroom. And we worked for 7 days on it.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of, upset that comes with that. You know how that goes. You've been doing it. We just go with the flow, but the animals pick up on it.
Yep. He's like, and he's thinking, so this house is being torn apart since you got here.
Yep. He's blaming Normie.
Yep.
But Normie's doing good. He's back out at it again.
Yeah. Good for him. He probably prefers to be outside.
I think so. And that was the thing. He doesn't, he deserves to be out in the sun. He deserves to be out in the fresh air. He doesn't deserve to be in a dark wood room.
Yeah.
So it worked. Don't get me wrong. It was wonderful for the purpose, but long-term, no.
Yeah. So looking at this next year and looking at our goals, and maybe thinking about the prior year, Lisa, how are you feeling about like this prior year and the goals that you accomplished, and maybe where they're pointing you to this year?
I feel we did great last year. I think that we were much more productive. And one of the things, and I just said this to somebody, people say, oh, what do you want to learn this year? Right? What's something you want to learn this year? And I said, well, usually I don't pin it down to something specific, right? Because with this lifestyle, you're learning every moment. You're learning from experience, from events that happen. And what I mean by that is cold fronts that come through. You're learning to put Vaseline on your chickens, combs. You're always learning something.
Yep.
Right. But I think that last year was a lot of firsts and a lot of learning for us. I mean, the farrowing of the pigs was, I couldn't even tell you what we learned. There was so much. Making sourdough.
Well, you could, and you've done some videos on it, right?
Yeah.
Like because I'm going to have to go back and watch those before we get our pigs. That's one.
Yeah. And I mean, you
studying up on.
But here's the thing, you just call me and that's the thing. I have mentors. I go, I'll give you an example. It got warm out after that cold front. Sherman got a little frisky. He was mounting Grant.
With Grant.
But that's how they get. Like it gets warmer and they're all excited. They get outside and it's, maybe the girls were in heat and he could smell it. And all I did was listen to Grant screaming and fighting with Sherman. with all that stuff. So but we got through it and we learned a lot. Yes, enjoy. That is exactly what we're doing. We're bringing them in right now. We're getting them get used to each other outside, then bring Norman in. With the snow, it's kind of slowing that process, but that's what we're doing is desensitization, just kind of bringing them in. I think that, again, Diesel was reacting to the bathroom, but I think the bathroom project I meant. I think that for this year, I want Norman to be a therapy pig.
I would love for him.
I really would like to.
He looks like he would be so good at that.
And I want to learn. So, there's a training that comes with that. There's insurance. He has to be potty trained. He has to be non-reactive. It may not happen, but we're going to try it. The other thing is greenhouse. Oh, excuse me a minute. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's not the company. It's the week. Hey, Maria, our Okie Homestead.
Hey.
So I think that for me is also greenhouse. And I want to learn to regulate the greenhouse more, but that would come if we have a bigger greenhouse. And so things are all over the place, because I'll be honest with you, if a barn is in the picture for us, I'm going to forego the greenhouse.
Oh, that would be so awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the barn needs to come. So that's the kind of thing that we're trying to figure out. But I think that we realized, the freeze drying, the food preservation, all that kind of stuff really, really was beneficial to us. How about for you?
So the move was the biggest thing for us. I'll tell you that. And I'll tell you, it took like a lot of the things, our challenges that we had where we were, just the water being such a huge issue in Arizona. I feel like I wanted to do more gardening. I was limited on what I could do. Yes, you can collect water, and I don't want to discourage anybody who lives in the Southwest and has to overcome those challenges. But there's other things. We wanted to have more land. Mountain Grandpa loves to fish, and he loves to do that. And while we did have lakes near us there, they weren't the kind of lakes we have near us now. My goodness, we are living in the land of water. So we really went where the water was with our move. And it was a way for us to address a lot of goals that we had and put ourselves in a better place to have a better opportunity to do that. So that took up a lot of energy. But when I looked back at last year's goals, Lisa, and I'm thinking we've got faith, family, friends, finance, fitness, fun, future. I'm like, Faith, boy, I did a lot of praying last year.
You did.
We moved and we prayed. We prayed about the move. We prayed to be able to move. It was just a lot of praying. We really upped our game on that one, boy. We did good there. Fitness. All of this is going to come out of the move. Because for the garden, I planted potatoes. I don't know how the potatoes turned out. I had to donate those. With the people that were buying the house, were all excited about the potatoes in the garden that I had to leave behind. But I did
Little Ridge.
Some of my little plants. Hey, Little Ridge. Some of my little plants I had in containers, I gave to a friend of ours, and I can report those are doing well. They things and Swiss chard, and they've been growing those. They're still alive and well in Arizona. But fitness, I was moving a lot with that, and it comes down to the move. It was like forced exercise. Now, where we moved to is very slopey, and I've been trying to get out and walk down the property and up the property every day. And I'm hoping that helps me this next year, because my husband and I both feel like we have got to make ourselves a priority. We have to be on the priority list in terms of our health. We have to. We're running out of time. You can abuse your bodies and eat what you want and do what you want when you're younger and your bodies just roll with it. They're just so durable and resistant for the most part. But our bodies aren't that resistant anymore. So we
No,
feel it.
no. I can
Mhm.
tell you when we were younger, if we were doing a bathroom when we were younger,
Mhm.
we would have been early morning till midnight.
Yeah,
Here I was like, it's 2 o'clock.
this is enough for today.
I've had enough.
I think we're at a good stopping point. That's
Yeah.
what me and my when we're working on stuff. I think we're at a good stopping point.
Yeah.
That, and we just like to have fun all the time. I got to tell you a quick story. So the kids, Blue had come over. I cook for the kids a lot. They're like right next door, so it's so fun because I can cook for the family, and say, "Hey kids, got some, fried chicken and fried corn over here. Come get it." And so they came. Blue was coming to get the food, and it was a late dinner. That's something we need to work better on, eating earlier. And he comes over at their house. It's all quiet. Kids have gone to bed. They even have a lot of lights shut off. And he comes over here, and we've got the karaoke system set up. And Katie told me that he said, he went back and he's like, "Have you heard what's going on at your parents' house? Come here." And I guess they can hear us when they open their door. He's like, "It sounds like there's a bar over there." Us playing. We like to play. So we have to balance work and play because we're going to play. It's
That's
the work.
fun.
We got to discipline ourselves about that work part of it. But
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
we did still manage to have fun, I guess, is what I'm saying. Not as much as we wanted, though, from May through December. So trying to catch up on that. And big goals for this year for me are just going to be like the garden. I'd love to have a greenhouse, but I'm not even going to consider that as an option just yet. Just
Excuse me.
because I know I want meat. We want more meat animals. The kids are really wanting to do the meat rabbits. So we're going to let them do the meat rabbits. I'd like to get meat birds and turkeys because we all eat turkey meat, especially the kids. I'll probably get a meat grinder or something for it because we don't necessarily eat it, um, so it's getting a garden set up, and I can tell I'm going to run into an issue with bugs, and I can tell that I'm going to have to be concerned about wildlife. So we're going to have a lot of chores around here related to setting those things up and setting up pens for the animals. And I don't know that a greenhouse is going to be realistic for this year because, hey there, little boots, because Mountain Grandpa, he's going fishing. Like he's going to be, we're going to be doing a lot of fishing. So, and having fun too. So those are kind of my biggies for this year. And learning stuff you mentioned about what are you going to learn this year? I'm going to be learning everything with all of that, right?
Yeah.
But I do want to learn more about herb use for our animals this year. So I am going to be sharing some content about that because right now with this cold, our 14-year-old miniature dachshund Chihuahua mix is struggling with her. She's got one wrist, her front wrist, that she's always had a little lump on from a prior injury that just never, it got better, but never, the lump never went away.
Mm.
And it's kind of has arthritis set in. So I'm going to be making some pain oil for her. I'm actually working on doing that today and everything, but that's in my goals. But I know that they're limiting the kinds of or medicines that we can purchase over the counter for our animals. And I think it was June, right?
Oh, don't get me started on that nonsense.
I want to
June
prepare.
2023.
Yeah.
You can thank the FDA, or is it you can thank the powers that be for taking away your ability to be able to treat your animals for routine things.
Yeah.
For example, we don't have a swine vet here, and we will now need a swine vet that we don't have to be able to administer antibiotics. And we can stock up on antibiotics. We can stock up on them, but it's not going to get us through more than a couple of years or 4 years max. But the bottom line is, that is a significant game changer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need items, go get them.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is the closer we get to June, they're not going to be there.
Yeah.
LA 200 is something that we've used with our pigs. I will be buying more of that. There's different, don't take my word for it. There are different LA spectrum antibiotics out there. I don't know the right way to say that, but I think that's the right way. But yeah, you're going to need a vet to prescribe all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the wormers, which is crazy.
And yeah, yep. Don't get me started.
Uh-huh. It's the wormers too. Wormers and antibiotics.
Yep.
But I want to find out, for example, like I just want to get into the practice of knowing and getting an herbal toolkit put together for our animals. I know what to do if it's one of us with herbs, you know what I'm saying? But with the animals, they obviously, it's a whole new ball game. Some of the things we use, they can use too. Hi, hello, Tofu. Thanks for coming in. But it's always different. The wormers, that's ridiculous. Like our pets don't need to go to the vet like geez, have you ever seen the worming schedule for goats? Like, I think they're supposed to be wormed more frequently. Like, you don't need to go to the vet every 3 months. That's crazy.
I'm not getting goats. Yeah. I don't think you need to take them to the vet. I think if you have a relationship with a vet and they know your animal, for stuff like that, they're going to write you a script. Yeah. For us, the frustration is I don't have a vet. I have one vet who I have begged for help, and he graciously helped us.
Don't you see what Uncle Al said?
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm looking, but Canada right now is all regulated for that stuff. They've been regulated for a while.
Oh, shoot.
So US is following that. So I have one vet who's amazing, and he's struggling with cancer. He's an old school vet. And
yeah,
he's not always available. But when he has been available, bless that man. He has helped us. So I'm going to try and work on that stuff. I think the other thing is, back to the learning point. Don't get me wrong, even if you don't set goals, right, you're going to achieve stuff.
Yep.
And some years you're going to think you didn't achieve anything, but you did. Because sometimes just surviving the year is achievement.
Oh boy. Isn't that the truth?
Right? So, I mean, I think that's the thing people need to realize is, just making sure that your goals are fitting where you're at, your situation, all of that stuff. Take it into consideration. This model is all about balance. I know for me, the balance was important because it was all or nothing in different places, and it needs to be more balanced. And I will, Uncle Al, thank you. So, that's the thing. And thank you, Jamie's Country Living. He's just an amazing man who has been very helpful to us. And I will never forget him for him helping us. But, I think that's the thing is people need to realize this is all about balance. Because if we're all or nothing, we don't get it done.
Yep. And that's my weakness. I tend to hyper-focus. So that's why I like this, because it keeps me balanced. I will hyper-focus on one thing, and everything else could fall apart around me if I'm not careful.
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe your goal is to just keep doing what you're doing while you're focusing on something else, but you've got to try to keep up everything so you don't let things slip through as best of your ability.
Uncle Al.
I haven't heard of this before.
No, me neither. What is it? I use Chewy, and I use I think I've just used Chewy for Diesel, because Diesel has an eye medication that he has to have every day, and they only sell it in drops versus ointment, and Diesel does a lot better with ointment. So what I love about Chewy is they do it all for me. They contact the vet, everything, and I just get it delivered.
Awesome.
Online.
I've used Chewy, but only for food.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they have some pretty good deals for dog food.
Thanks, Jamie. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah.
Revival Animal. Well, there it is.
I wonder, I'm going to write that down too. Thank you for sharing that.
Ooh, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of different animals too. You guys check out Revival Animal. Thanks, Joy.
Yeah.
Never used that before. Oh, Diesel's up and about. He heard Daddy's home. Wants to see if Daddy's hanging out with Norman.
That's funny, huh? He's going to go check.
He's at the door. Oh, now he's barking.
With my gardens this year, I'm going to be trying to plant all of the herbs that I use. Really excited about doing that because I buy my herbs, and it would be nice to have them growing in my yard so that I didn't have to make that purchase. Plus, if there was ever a situation where I could no longer purchase them, it would be nice to just have them, right?
Yeah.
That and our food. And Lisa, you're participating in the February challenge.
Yep.
Right? With Old Swedes Farm.
Yep.
How are you? And I'll let you tell everybody what it is that I'm talking about.
It's $50 February. So if you are two people, it's $50 for the month of February for groceries. So our biggest issue, and I've been telling Rich about this, is we live in a rural area, and we are prepared to eat without going anywhere for quite some time. Always have been. Because of weather, because of circumstances, life, you name it, we do all that. So that's my biggest problem, is like pulling something out of the pantry and knowing what the value is. It's not my forte. But we definitely have all of our own meat. We have our eggs that we've grown. It's all about growing your own food and preparing for February. So we have all our meat. We have all our eggs. We, obviously can make bread. I have sourdough starter. But again, it's quantifying the stuff that I'm taking out of the pantry that we didn't grow and putting a price to it.
And figuring out how much food you guys are actually going to eat in a month.
Yeah. I mean,
see some value of that because, as we all prepare our meals and go shopping, we replenish things, and we know how much we spend at the grocery store, but
right.
I think getting a feel for actually how much that cupboard space is going towards a month of food is kind of I hope you share that part of it as you go. That's what I'm curious about, because I couldn't do that this year due to all of the changes and stuff. But
no, it's hard. I totally get it. I mean, I think the other thing too is that I think we're in really good shape. We know exactly where we're not succeeding. We know that it's the produce section and it's the other items. But we do have a lot of freeze dried stuff that we add in. The 4 roosters that we had were processed for dog food for Diesel into a raw diet. So, I mean, I think that, there's a lot of things we'll be good at, and then there's a lot of things we won't be good at, and I don't think we needed the challenge to know that, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I think it's
Yeah.
pretty obvious. But I think that it'll, the other thing too is we're really cheap when we go grocery shopping. We did a live one time and I was like, we went grocery shopping for the month or something and what we spent. And everybody was like, we spent $800. We spend this. And I'm like, we spent 300. I almost had a heart attack.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it depends on where you're at and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, of grocery shopping and just shopping in general, Walmart has all of their Christmas stuff 75% off. And we bought bags of walnuts. We bought a walnut cracker. We bought blankets for 75 cents each.
Really?
So it's not just, and the blankets, I'm looking around like as if I could just grab one. Because when I say we bought blankets, girl, I mean, we bought blankets. I give out any gift boxes and someone gets a blanket. I mean, we really loaded up on them because we can use them for the animals.
Yep.
75 cents. And they're those nice fuzzy ones,
Nice.
like throws. So it's
Yep.
not all like, Christmas lights and decorations and things.
That's cool.
I try to take advantage of those. I feel like anytime we go shopping, our best bet is go to buy what's on sale. Don't go to buy what you need, because if you stay on top of everything, you're going to have what you need, and you're only buying things because you can get them at a good price.
Yeah, we buy in bulk from Black Hills Bulk. Uncle Al said he lost 10 pounds from the Brandon diet in 2022.
That was good. Oh my goodness. I found it. I found your 10.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought by this Christmas, making all of the Christmas goodies and stuff, that when I started to eat better, in January, that it would make it just easier because I'd be sick of it, which to some extent that is true, except for the fact that it bringing more weight with me into 2023 that I accumulated over like the last 4 weeks. It's pretty awful.
Yeah.
If I was taller, it would have more room to go, but I'm not.
Well, see, you have to hang out outside in the brutal temperatures because our animals were eating 5 times a day.
Oh my
The pigs were, because we had to keep them warm. 4 times a day, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't gain any weight at all.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jean.
Oh,
she was a few.
Jean. I saw somebody had over $9.
Oh my word.
On Instagram.
I'm glad that you she told me this on the phone the other day, and I'm glad that you shared that, Jean, here, because I would have forgotten to mention it. Yeah, that's crazy.
I couldn't imagine.
Someone in the neighborhood there needs to get some chickens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can Jean get chickens?
Yeah, Jean could get chickens, but I don't know if she wants chickens.
Yeah, somebody on Instagram posted they were over $9.
Wow, they must be on the west. Are they on the West Coast? I wonder, because this is in Arizona. That's nuts.
I'm thinking for a minute. I thought they were in New York, but I have to look. I'm just thinking who it was.
I was in the grocery store, and you know what we do. You go to the grocery store. I don't know how many people in here have gone in a grocery store and you have friendly chatter with someone else, and you're all complaining about the prices. When we quit buying them, the prices will go down. When we start only buying when something's on sale and they have a bunch of stuff that they can't sell, they're going to have to lower the prices or it's going to be thrown away. That's I feel like that's what we all, and I feel that way about the vehicles. Like I didn't want us to contribute to that. And I hope I don't, end up eating my words by ending up buying one like in a year or something. But maybe by then they'll have the prices down, because it's ridiculous, because they don't even last. They aren't building. Oh, look, I'm pointing with my pen. They don't last like they used to. They don't. Our truck is a 2013, and right now it needs a lot of work. I mean, we're going to start getting the obvious things fixed. But we know there's other things that need to be fixed. It's only 10 years old. And I feel like if this was a 1972 Chevy, we wouldn't be having, it would have, didn't Hank Williams sing about this? A Ford and a Chevy that would last 10 years like it should.
Yeah. Hey, Janice, glad you're safe and welcome in. I just posted something about this because we bought all brand new valves for the bathroom. Like Ryan did a lot of things, and Ryan plumbs all the time. So this is not like, he did something. Brand new valve leaked and had to be replaced again because everything is made inferior.
So you're repairing plumbing, and then another leak shows up somewhere. Is that
in the new valve? The new valve is leak. We didn't have a leak. We just replaced all the plumbing because that's what you do. But a new valve leaked, and we couldn't get it to stop. So he had to replace it, and now it's fine because this stuff is just garbage.
It's awful. Hey, Blue Farm, and hey, Where to Begin Homestead. Yeah, it's awful. We're going through the same thing, Lisa. We've had plumbing that we've replaced, and valves are having to be replaced. And are you guys using the O-rings in them? Yep. And the O-rings, with the O-rings in them, it's awful. Things aren't lasting. And somebody said on here that Walmart's starting to donate stuff. And I guess, where did I see that? I was going to post that. Here it is.
It was Jamie's Country Living.
And they put out a notice that they're going to be raising their prices because of theft. So they went into business, drove out a lot of smaller businesses, and now they're going to raise their prices when people don't have as many options as they used to have.
I can't even.
Good business model there, huh?
I can't even think about it.
Yeah.
Then you have Dollar General, who's popping up every 10 miles.
So but they can't be Dollar General anymore, so now they're DG Marketplace. Have they done that where you live yet?
No.
Okay, so they're going to turn into DG Marketplace.
I don't care what they turn into as long as they keep them stocked, because the ones I have in town are garbage. They can't get employees.
Oh, wow.
To keep it stocked. So you walk in there and all you see are the cages.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you supposed to shop when everything's in a cage and you can't get to it?
Yeah.
And then, rural living, I mean, the grocery store is so darn expensive that everybody's going to the DG market.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good. I think we as consumers have a lot of power. We're not coordinated in our efforts. Do you know what I mean? Like at this point, we're not really coordinated in our efforts. And I mean, we don't, okay, I'm not going to say anything I got to watch what I say here. None of us are being paid to be coordinated in our efforts by certain really wealthy people that aren't even Americans or anything like that. But I think that if we just all start to have the mindset of only buy stuff when it's on sale and buy things because of the price, not because you need them. Because if you buy them because of the price, chances are you're never going to have to go buy something because you need it, because you're already going to have it. And if we start doing that, then I think that maybe they're going to have to start lowering their prices.
Yeah, and the consumerism drive for cheap stuff is what's causing the inferior quality. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
So like we had to buy a vanity for the bathroom, and I have never seen such garbage in my life for an expensive price, to the point where we actually considered building one ourselves because it would be better.
Yeah.
We didn't have the time. We need to function. Guilty as charged, but we only have but I cannot believe that somebody would spend $2,200 on a vanity. I didn't. That is made out of board that if it gets wet, it's going to swell and fall apart.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fan of IKEA.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's garbage.
Mm-hmm. It is.
We
It
deserve
is.
better.
We do. And it is our need for affordable products, but it's also fueled by the greed at the top of the people that want to make more money. So they try to sell us crap. We need for people to start building quality products and then giving them our business, but they're going to have to make them affordable. And I think it's now, I don't know, maybe there's so many regulations that it's difficult. Everybody's having to pay for certain things and everything is so expensive. That could be part of it.
Yeah. And I think we put up with it. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
We bought the vanity was, made in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It was USA made, right? Usually you
Mm-hmm.
spend more money for it. You get a little different quality.
Yeah.
Quality was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Quality was horrible.
That's awful. Darn it.
And I mean, we're cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought very cheap. We did not buy expensive, but when you look at the cheap compared to the expensive on the marketplace now,
yeah,
because if you don't buy what's available, you're going to wait 6-8 months for it to come in.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry, I'm not that fancy. I don't need to wait that long.
Mm-mm.
But the bottom line is you end up, to me, the quality was the same.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like there was any difference, because usually you find a cheap, a middle of the road, and a high end,
Mm-hmm. I think you meant Amish. Think like the Amish.
Yeah, there's none near us. None near us. I've searched for Mennonite and Amish.
Mm-hmm.
They are so far away.
Here. I need to go and figure out where they are, but I know of the towns. That's on our list to go and check out those shops. I've never even been in one.
I'd love to. I've looked online, and the closest is, the other side of South Dakota, so it's a good 8 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that we have been able to take advantage of is a Hutterite community. What
kind of community?
Hutterite, Hutterite.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that.
And they have a business and a farm and so on, and they deliver to Rapid City.
Awesome.
So like they come from the other side of the state over here with a tractor trailer, and they deliver pork and stuff like that. We used to buy from them.
Yeah.
Hey,
Squirrel Magnet Fishing. Yeah, that's really a cool idea too.
Yep.
But I told my husband, so where we moved, we have fruit trees, and I made sure I insulated them with leaves, and I'm hoping that, because they were big, I'm well, not real big, but not babies. I'm hoping they made it through this winter, and I'm anxious to see what kind of fruit we get out there, because those are dollar trees. This is definitely the time to be gardening and having chickens, because every little bit helps, and it's going to be a dollar tree because every apple is almost $1 anymore. It's nuts.
The good thing is, usually if the trees have been established, they should be okay. Mm-hmm. Granted, you had that crazy weather. But aside from that, usually you got to watch out for the blossoms, I think. Like
what do you mean?
Get cold weather, like here you can have fruit trees, but if they have the blossoms on them and we get a frost, which is typical, you're going to lose fruit for the year. That's why we don't have fruit trees.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yep, we're not there. And somebody did tell me I was on a live, and they said apple trees, cherry trees, those can withstand the cold well. Because we have 1 cherry, 1 peach, 2 plum, and 2 apples. I'm hoping they all do well, but we'll see. I mean, we moved here in the fall. There was nothing there, so kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Still raining here. Good. Too much rain is not a blessing, but there's so many people doing without rain. When I see rain, I think, oh, good. I'm glad you're getting rain.
Yeah.
My first inclination.
My thoughts too.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel's staring at me. Give me a stare down.
Does anybody have any questions for us before we end our live? We're at the 1 hour mark. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I'm going to be jotting down my goals for next weekly, so I'm going to get all of them lined up to go over with you. I feel like that's a really good practice for me to do that. Keep
Absolutely.
and on task.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited about this year.
Well, yeah, you got a lot of good stuff going on. Come here,
Mhm.
Daisy.
As do you. It's going to be fun.
All it does is rain, no snow yet. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everyone, for coming in, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New
And,
Year. It was fun to be back.
Yes, it is. And we will see you all next week. I hope that you'll follow us along as we get our goals lined out and just get through this year and do some wonderful and exciting and fun things. Take care, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.